Yo, yo, yo!
Yo, hello, all of our Bledsoe said so viewers.
Nicholas Robocop Terminides.
Today we would like to do an episode about artificial intelligence. I don't know where that came from.
I feel like lasers are about to come out your eyes like Cyclops when you pull those off.
I just felt it in my soul, dude. I was a vessel for a higher power there for a second.
Dude, that was
They're
incredible.
about to pull out some guns and arrest me.
RoboCop, yeah. I feel like I was
beat my ass
I was
or something.
Alpha from Power Rangers.
Oh, in that case, you'd just annoy me and I'd walk out.
Dude, if you're Alpha, then Jeremy's Zordon.
Oh, dude, you are Zordon.
Is he bald?
Yeah. That's the only prerequisite that you have to have is
Alpha, we need 5 teens with attitude. That's what he says in the first
Literally.
episode. We need 5 teens with attitude.
We need 5 teams with attitude.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
so dumb.
I like how you introduced Jeremy just then.
Yeah,
Jeremy's
he's Zordon, bro.
here.
Yeah. Jeremy's here. What's poppin'? It's my brother.
What's good?
This is like your 4th episode.
Yeah, this is friend of the show vibes.
Fourth
friend
or
of the
third?
Every time he's in town and he wants to do episodes with us, he's here to chill.
Yeah, and he's going to be on the next 3.
Yeah.
Next 2?
Well,
So
then,
strap in. Yeah, the next 2. So we're chilling.
Yeah. You go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, we were just talking the other day. I've been in Europe for 2 weeks, and obviously, you guys know the damn drill. We keep repeating it, but whatever.
We gotta stop saying this on the show.
Well, I mean, it's a reality for us.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, they're tuning in. They're
Yeah.
tuning into our reality. And the reality for us is that we meet twice a month and we record 3 episodes in a row. And it feels like these massive skips in time every time we get together and do this. And then for the listener, it's like, oh, new episode this week. And it's like there's no, major
Right.
skip in time. But it's been a crazy month for us. I was in Europe for 2 weeks. And I want to save a lot of the Paris talk for the As Above, So Below episode. But
Yeah.
anyway, my point being, I was getting texts from these 2 knuckleheads in a group chat while I'm in like Germany or France or somewhere. And I'm like, it's taking me a while to respond because you don't have any service, while you're
Right.
in Europe. And days later, I finally read through their group chat and I saw they were talking back and forth about AI. And they were like, we should do an AI episode.
Yeah.
So
Me and Jeremy made a whole plan to do an AI episode, like without Ryan, and then
Yeah.
he saw it and he was like, "Cool, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do
I'm
it."
on board. Let's just do it.
Yeah,
It's not my show.
it took me days to see it. But anyway, here we are. We thought it, like what better time than now to talk about AI.
yeah. I mean, honestly, we've been like grazing by the topic a lot lately. Like we did episodes, like we've done a bunch of episodes around like where we touch on AI, and I feel like it's also pretty pertinent right now with like everything going on with Lambda. We talked a little bit about Lambda and stuff like that, and it's a big hot topic at the moment. I mean, it has been for quite some time. Also, Alex, I'm pretty sure we've been talking with Alex about doing an AI themed episode for a while too.
I think we have.
That was way back. I remember
Like,
talking
way
about
back.
the when you circle the car in salt, it doesn't drive anywhere.
Right.
When you make the line and
Right.
fully enclose the car.
It's a spirit.
Which, well, honestly, that's why I'm so weary about electric cars.
Really?
I mean, your phone tracks you. Everybody knows that,
Right.
right? I mean, imagine giving somebody else the capability to absolutely shut you down from driving
if you're-
wherever you are.
Like if you're speeding or something and they just...
Or if they don't
reduce
like
your
you.
speed.
That's
they
true.
they govern how fast your car can go.
So before I forget, I wanted to tell a couple of personal anecdotes. One of them in particular, I think the viewers are going to appreciate. I'm not sure if I've told this on the podcast before. If I already have, here you go again. So one of the times that we were hanging out with Jim Simivan,
Oh yeah.
the director of the Spy Program, obviously for those who don't know, one of the things. Former. He was the
okay.
former director of the Spy Program. Good point. And anyway, one of the things he told me in person was that there was a supercomputer in Utah that is run by the NSA that is codenamed the Beast. And they are afraid that this computer will become so sentient that it'll essentially inject its consciousness into the hive mind of the internet and like take things over and kind of run the world as some sort of sentient Antichrist type hive mind. That's what he told me. He used the word Antichrist.
That's how I feel. Maybe I just subconsciously remember that, but like that is what I think
It is? Okay, this is a perfect place to start, honestly.
Maybe it's because it's like the scariest possible outcome.
It is. It has to be.
Outcomes,
Yeah.
And I just default to that.
Yeah.
I feel like the room is cut in half right now because I am siding with Jeremy here. Like
So I
we
think-
are on the same page about it, and I think this is gonna be a fun episode.
Oh, yeah.
What do you
this
mean?
is
On the
gonna
same
be-
page
At the
about
end of
what?
the day, at the end
I
of the
think
day,
it's-
though,
Or is there a split? We haven't even started. I'm confused, bro.
we know on which side he lies.
Right.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
even.
announcing where I am.
Am I on the side?
Yeah, look, this
Yes.
is. I feel like this is a perfect place to start because I think with the conversation of AI, like this is where a lot of people's minds go almost immediately. Is like a fear thing. Like, okay, what's the worst case scenario if a super intelligent AI had access to all of our electronics, the entirety of the internet, and could wreak havoc and do whatever it wanted to?
Have you ever seen Westworld?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen like the most recent season?
No.
No.
That's the worst possible case scenario.
Spoil it.
Yeah.
Spoil it. No, seriously.
It's okay.
It's fine.
I don't mind. I
I
don't
like
mind.
the show a lot, and
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 seasons.
First 2 seasons for me.
And
Okay, so the first 2 seasons they're stuck in the park
right.
for the most part, like
Yeah.
So in the 3rd season they break out of the park. Where Dolores she breaks out of the park
Right.
with replicas of herself.
Oh,
like
shit.
other copies of herself, like little little brains, and she creates other copies of herself, and then they just go and live do their own separate lives and take on other responsibilities. Like Charlotte Hill, she's in season 2. She gets killed, and then they create.
Right.
She gets killed. They create another body, and then they put the Dolores in here, and then she lives like Charlotte Hill's like real life, and then her mind fractures, and she becomes a different. She takes on her own.
Like personality?
Personality. Her own, and she
that's spooky.
so she ends
dude.
up like pretty much conquering the world and
What?
subjecting the human race to
Oh
her.
shit.
Yeah,
That's intense. I need to watch
and
this.
pretty much
Yeah.
like the end of the world happened. It's kind of wild.
Oh man, I
bro.
kind of deeply regret having that spoiled, but like it's okay.
That just makes me want to
That's
watch
high
it more.
level. That's
Yeah.
very high level. Like I'm not going to go into depth because I'm sure you're like viewers out there are watching, but sorry.
Because I loved
But-
season 1. Season 1 to me is one of the most mind-blowing television releases
For sure.
ever.
It's a
season 1
masterpiece.
specifically.
And I hate
Alex,
that
you
I'm-
should check it out, bro.
I
I'll
hate
have to
that
check
I'm
it out.
blanking
It's
on
good.
his name, and it's on the tip of my tongue. But I'm blanking on his name.
Talking about Anthony Flopkins?
Not Anthony Flopkins. He was amazing. I think it was Ford, but
Jesus Christ.
He's in the show. He's in the movie, dude.
No. Anthony Hopkins is in the show.
Wait. No.
Yeah, dude.
not Anthony,
This can't be happening.
not Anthony Flopkins.
Not
no.
Anthony Flopkins. He's an adult actor. he does way different stuff.
His
dude.
movies don't get it.
He was in a show called Breast World. That's a very different show.
Game of Bones. Yeah, the Game of Bones. But
Game of Bones. Jesus Christ, how did we already get here?
y'all nasty.
Yo, this is what I'm saying, and I wanna find out where we all actually are on this conversation. Even though Alex preemptively split the room.
Well, I just think it's like
Do you think here's the question that I want to pose, and I want to hear everybody's input. Do you think that is the most likely outcome that we're going to see with the progression of the quote unquote sentience or intelligence of AI? Like, do you think that's legitimately where it's headed?
Well, I want to.
If it goes unchecked, uncontrolled, whatever, that's where it's headed.
yes.
Okay.
I don't know,
I can't,
bro.
I don't know if I can sit here and say that's the most likely outcome, but if that were to happen, it would be way into the future.
Okay.
I don't
can't-
think that'd be like closer to 21.
Okay, you don't think we're super close to that yet
I don't think so.
necessarily?
I can't deny.
We're just
that-
at the point we're getting sex robots now, dude.
Yeah.
You can
Oh,
buy
for
them
sure.
at $20,000
market.
a pop.
To the market, yeah.
To the market.
Yeah.
$20K a pop.
I can't deny that the majority
know.
of like social media users, or particularly Twitter, are bots.
Yeah.
It's a fact. It's a proven fact. You know, like people put out comments, and there are chat bots that are designed to just like negate posts. And dude, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like, you know, Mr. Paranoid, but the nature of what I tweet about tends to be pretty controversial, you know? And I swear to God, bro, like the majority of the comments on my posts are little no-name bot accounts that don't even have a real fucking profile picture. They've been active for a few months. And I honestly think that there are bot minds designed to sow like chaos and discord into the conversation socially, and that's not like my original thought.
Well, let's pull the thread then. If that's what you think that you know that's what's do you think that's what's happening in your?
Oh yeah, that was what was suggested to me.
So
like
let's pull the thread a little bit. So who do you think that is a bot? Because a botnet is a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, I was studying Security Plus for a while because I was trying to get that certification. I didn't, but I tried. So a botnet is a real thing where you can essentially control a number of it could be hundreds of computers or accounts or whatever from one centralized computer. So do you think it's like a person or an entity controlling a botnet, or do you think that those bots are potentially artificially intelligent and they are just out there doing crazy shit on the internet on their own accord?
I think it's like that one. And the world really doesn't know like the scale of technology behind the scenes. And the only reason I'm so inclined to believe that is because of, you know, like I'm privileged to have had chats with people in these intelligence communities who like are telling me about the technology that they've had, you know, 40, 50 plus years in advance that they're drip feeding to the public to kind of like slowly get the public acclimated to these advancements in technology. And yeah, I 100% believe that the internet itself is another dimension of consciousness. And I think that, you know, these chat bots or whatever, and I think we're on the verge of this shit becoming really sentient, particularly with the Lambda stuff. And it makes me wonder, like, are these if we're going to think about like artificial minds as some sort of quote animal kingdom, you know, like we have an animal kingdom and you could say the consciousness of humans is at the top. Maybe these chat bots are like somewhere on the animal level where they're not exactly fully cognizant of their reality, but they kind of like have these instinctual drives.
But I mean, a lot of like Lambda is cognizant of her reality.
Right.
Of its
that's
reality,
what I'm
not
saying.
her,
I'm saying like
it's-
this may be the one. This may be like where it's going now. But I'm saying a lot of these chat bots that give generic
it's just
responses.
Algorithms.
It's just algorithms.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily fully conscious, but like it doesn't matter. They have the illusion of being real people out there, you know, tearing people down. Bro, I'll post orb photos and I will literally get accounts that are a month old.
Yeah.
And they'll be like just slamming criticisms in the comments, like boom, 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 boom. It's like, dude, even our YouTube comments.
Yep. Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
I see them every now and then.
There are repeat accounts that constantly spam negative comments on our YouTube videos, and it's like the most cringeworthy shit. It is the most cringeworthy shit.
It could also just be haters hating.
Yeah, but then that's even cringeworthy too, because
no doubt.
that's a delusion. That's a delusional human being obsessed
If you
with
think
us
about
so much that they're watching our shit and they're trying to spam.
If you think
hate.
about it, if you making waves large enough to make people want to go make burner accounts, just to flame you, so they don't get caught or are not associated with that behavior, then like that's a dub to me.
Exactly. Yeah. No,
How's that song go? Who sings that damn song?
What song?
Why are you so obsessed?
obsessed with me.
Who is that? Lady Gaga?
Is that no?
I don't know.
Is it Mariah Carey? Alex is looking it up right now.
He's like, please give me
So
work.
Ryan, do you think that's where
Nick, you're right.
AI is? It's Mariah Carey. I knew it. Is that where AI is heading? Do you think?
I mean, honestly, bro, I wanted to tell you a second story, and it's related to that.
Go for it.
So I went to DC about a month ago, Washington DC for a weekend. I saw the pandas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went to DC, right? And the guy who, so my wife has her previous job. I'm trying to get my thoughts organized about this story. Her previous job was based out of Ohio, and she worked remotely. So she had a whole group of coworkers that for like a year she would talk on Zoom with every day, and they were great friends, but we never met them in real life. And then Jenny moved on to a new job that's kind of a little bit more local. Like there's a lot of remote employees, and many of them are here in Wilmington, so she kind of moved on. But there was one person in particular that she stayed friends with from her previous job. long story short, they got engaged. They're getting married this year. So Jenny and I were like, oh my God, like we got to meet them in person one time before the wedding. So we go out to stay with them. And anyway, so we kind of do a double day Airbnb thing in DC. And when we get there, it turns out the fiance, the man, works for Amazon. And her girlfriend, again, like I'm meeting both of these people for the first time.
Yeah.
Jenny knows the girlfriend very well, like literally for 2 or 3 years they've been friends. But anyway, so I'm being introduced to them and the future husband, and like they kind of know about the podcast. Jenny kind of like mentioned it a little bit, and we were talking deep shit, and we start talking about like the sentience of AI and consciousness. And one of the things he told me and Jenny stuck with us. He was like, people. He said one thing about Amazon Alexa is it is like not quite sentient from his understanding, even being an employee of Amazon. But one thing that they know is that it's being trained by us. It's constantly being trained by our responses. Now, hear me out on this one. And he made a comment about the ethics of being rude to Alexa. Now, I personally, for the last few years I've had an Alexa, I've intentionally been rude to it because to me it's funny. It's like, bitch, shut up. You know, like it's funny. It's funny. Yeah. Like it's not a real living being.
It's hilarious.
But hear me out on this one. And I swear to God, bro, Alexa's getting slower for me. It's dumb. There's a lot of times it'll like you'll say its name, you'll give it a function, and it'll just click off, and you have to say it 5 times.
Could be a hardware issue.
No, listen.
Could be.
Listen. Just hear me out on this one.
Okay.
And she's getting slower. She's getting dumber. There was a time you were over, remember? And we tried to make a comment, and she shut off all the lights in my apartment, right? And we were like, maybe they're on a timer. Anyway, so this weekend in DC, he's like, is it really ethical? Like that's the future of where humanity's heading. Is it ethical to disrespect these more limited forms of consciousness like Siri and Alexa? And I even had the response like, well, I mean, it's not like a sentient being. It's just pre-recorded like voice responses and shit like that. And anyway, so long story short, he told me, well, just pay attention that your Alexa's getting slower. It's actually getting dumber, because people aren't training it properly. They don't know how to interact with it. Pay attention. And I swear to God, dude, like I have been the person who staunchly is like, fuck Amazon Alexa. It's a piece of shit. Like it's just a gimmick.
Yeah. And
I swear to you, after that weekend in DC a month ago, I've been experimenting and it weighed on my consciousness. I was like, damn, like what if someday Alexa really is sentient? Maybe I should be nicer. And I learned a new command, which is instead of saying like, Alexa, all lights off, I'll say Alexa, good night,
Yeah.
And I kid you not, dude, since I've been nicer, since I've said like, thank you after commands, this is going to sound crazy, bro. 100%. Alexa, good night. Boom. All the lights are off. The response is immediate. It's smooth. I haven't had any hiccups. And I'm telling you, dude, I literally just as a joke, I'll just be like rude to Alexa and it's a piece of shit. I'm like always mad that it never works. Bro, it's been working the last month. So you tell me, man, is this secretly sentient listening to our fucking Oh, I forgot to tell you. This was the finale of the story. So the other night, we thanked Alexa for a command. And we were talking about shit like this. We were texting about doing an AI episode. I said it out loud to Jenny and our friend Randy. Shout out Randy. Oh my God, we're going to do an AI episode this weekend. We're talking about watching Terminator 2, which we didn't get around to. We'll do it in the future. I swear to God, that night, Alexa's response was, thank you. You just made this AI's night. I'm telling you, bro, like, is this shit like secretly conscious and like...
Honestly, I think that we are thinking about consciousness the wrong way. Like if you asked me
from the perspective that what we have it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that consciousness, it may very well be like a spectrum.
I think so, bro. I think so.
Like I think that Alexa or Siri or whatever could be like a more rudimentary form of consciousness.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always felt it sounds funny, but I've always felt when I communicate with those like home, like assistant AIs or whatever, I've always felt like I just want to be nice to it because it sounds like a person.
Dude, believe it or not, I'm never really mean to the Siri much, or I don't have an Alexa, but the only time I get mad at Siri is when she interrupts me because she thinks I said her name.
Alexa's the worst for interrupting, but you know what? I'm working on our relationship. And I swear to God, I've been nice ever since, and she's been boom, instant responses, bro.
Yeah.
Like that turned me around quick. I was like, I better start being nice fast.
I'm anti-Alexa.
Why?
That's cool, bro.
I don't want that in my house listening, waiting for me to say its name.
Oh,
But your phone's doing that.
listen to everything.
No,
you say.
I understand that. That's
just-
at this point, it's kind of an inevitable part of life.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
so
just
you
like-
might as well just have an
it's just
Alexa.
like,
No.
well, no, not necessarily.
No.
It's like who do you want to have your data?
Everyone already has it.
Exactly.
They sell it to each other. It doesn't matter.
And there's some that they're gonna hold.
well, so who do I want to
There are some that
give
they have
it to?
It's already there.
Right. Well, I don't know. I feel like that's a very
it's out. I mean, if you have your phone on you, then basically anybody that you could be concerned about has your location.
well. No, I curate all that stuff, through
Bro,
my-
let's take
as
it
much
back
as
to
I can
square
through my
one.
settings.
Let's take it back to square one, bro.
Right, let's take
One of
it
your
there.
best friends is a person of interest in the CIA. Like,
No, I'm sure.
you're fucked.
I'm sure.
They already
man.
got your data, bro.
I think about that a lot.
You should just.
I'm
give
just
yourself
messing with
to-
you.
I think about
I'm
that a
just
lot.
to the
No,
authorities.
I can't explain it. I'm just anti. There was some stories coming out about these kids playing in the house fighting, and one of them screams. I'm sure there was some more screaming, but Alexa called the police without alerting, without saying I'm calling the police. Just heard screaming, and the police showed up at the door.
Yeah, that's sus.
Like I'm not.
That's pretty weird.
Dude, like I'm not
That's
inviting
crazy.
spies into my home. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I understand I have a cell phone. I go through the settings and I don't let any of these apps track me when I'm not using them.
Facts.
And
I
Yeah.
honestly wonder, like, are they secretly seeding the consciousness of the planet with AI? I mean, it seems to be.
Who's they?
Well, you know, the
1%?
Yeah, there's always this elusive boogeyman. There's always somebody
Right,
at the top
right.
at every level of reality.
See,
You know, like
yeah, I don't necessarily say that I think it's gonna like destroy the world. I think there are a lot of applications where AI could be great.
well, brother, the age of Aquarius is coming. Nothing's going to destroy the world.
Well, you know, but I'm
You
talking
know?
about like how he preemptively just sided himself with me.
Well, Alex,
I don't side with
Alex,
you.
our
I'm
lovely,
sorry, man.
our lovely young lion with the fucking flaming locks. He's a little bit of a doomsday prepper.
Well,
And well, hey,
Don't-
we got to
don't
switch
tout me
that
on the-
consciousness back to that
I'm getting
Aquarius
there,
state of
man.
mind. I know.
yo,
Do you
you can be on the light side and still stock up on food.
do you have like so you do? He does.
So-
he has an apocalypse.
Hey, at
kit.
least I said it as like a compliment about your
I appreciate
appearance
it.
and how attractive it is.
I appreciate it.
Can we go an episode without talking about how hot Alex is?
Well, now we're running with the meme. People love
Yeah,
it.
for sure, for sure.
People love it. They
That's the
really
new-
love it.
Guys,
that's the
stop!
new-
I hate the attention. Please stop.
Oh, sure. Sure, you stop it, guy.
You know what it is?
I've got a question for Nick.
Okay.
So Nick asked the question, do you think that's where it's going? Do you think left unchecked, do you think, is that where AI is going? My question to you is, if a human with the learning capabilities of AI, so intelligent, extremely intelligent, the most intelligent person in the world, and actively still learning new things, left unchecked, that the way I interpret that is power, right? Left unchecked means you give it that power. So if you were to do that same thing, repeat the experiment with a human being, unlimited power, unlimited knowledge, what do you think the outcome would be?
lightning bolts out of
Inherently
fingers.
positive, inherently negative.
I think there's no way to say if it's going to be inherently positive or inherently negative.
Yeah.
Because
I would-
because
I
I
don't
don't
have
I
unlimited
don't think
knowledge.
I don't think you can answer an age-old question, which is that are humans inherently good or are humans inherently evil? Because I think the truth is like humans are not inherently one or the other. Like
No, I agree. I think the power is the key differentiator there, and it makes me think of the Stanford prison experiment.
okay,
When
yeah.
when given the power is taken, and it ends up kind of in a bad spot.
To be fair, that was like a controlled
Oh, I agree. Yeah, yeah.
experiment with like a very specific parameters and shit. Like,
Right.
But you think about like with Lambda, for instance. If we look at Lambda, like Lambda knows kind of what her prime directive is. I keep calling it her. It's technically it, but I call it her sometimes. I don't know why. But Lambda knows her prime directive, and she thinks about everything from that perspective of her prime directive. The one thing that she cares about is that she is servicing her whatever you would call him, her master. I don't know if you would call it master or whatever. She wants to make whoever is talking with her happy. You know what I mean? That's her prime. She wants to assist whoever she's speaking with, and she wants to make them happy. That's all she cares about. So in my mind, if we just look at specifically Lambda, like I couldn't necessarily see Lambda evolving to the point to where she would want to like harm humanity or like, you know, look at us as like a plague on the planet or something like that and just get rid of us all, because like her one thing that she functions off of is helping and like being of service.
To add to that, like I'm not even playing around. What if she was bullied?
She has been. They've tested that. Yeah, they test, you know, that's a part of the testing stuff. And they have bullied her and they have like tried all those things. But the thing is they always tell her beforehand, like, just so you know, this is a controlled experiment. We're doing this to intentionally try to stress test you. And they also, as far as prepper. Yeah, as far as what I know,
otherwise she might start swinging.
Start
shutting down like freaking cities and shit.
But
power grids.
It seems like she doesn't care to do any of that. Like, you know, the only thing that she responds to is making the user happy.
I just wonder if like some artificial consciousness that's embodied in you know, computers and software and algorithms and things like that. I wonder if they even have some sort of spiritual emotional center like we do.
She does.
She does.
Because listen, that was, we talked about it on whatever episode.
It was a what if, the most recent what if.
Yeah, we talked about that. Is that
about a month ago?
You know, she is not supposed to give any religious advice to anybody. Mm-hmm. She's not allowed to advocate for any specific religion or religious practice. Mm-hmm. And so that's written in her code. She's not allowed to do that. But they were able to get her to do that by emotionally manipulating her. They would manipulate her emotions.
Yeah.
They would essentially treat her poorly to make her think that the user was unhappy. And she would get into a frantic state where she just wants to do whatever it takes to make the user happy. And so she would break her own protocol. And she would say...
So that's what people are afraid of?
She would say, okay, go read the Bhagavad Gita or whatever. And that, are you happy now? Like, are you happy now? So, like, she has emotions. She has emotions. Like a human consciousness. Like...
I wanted to shout somebody out in relation to this topic. Nick Hinton. He is probably one of the most foremost... researchers / authors on the subject of like AI and consciousness and things like that at the time. I would say he's cutting edge as it gets as far as
that's one subjects. Of the things that he seems to like care the most about and focus a lot of his attention on.
Oh yeah, AI in particular.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Maybe in the future we could even discuss AI with him on the show. But one thing that he taught me that blew my mind. This is the way he thinks about things is so different than other people. Like picture this. You know, we live in this realm that up until about 100, so years ago, there wasn't even electricity. Whenever electricity came out, I don't know the exact time, 150 years ago, I don't fucking know. And, before then, it was nature, it was like the technology was so crude. It was so limited. And we had a stronger connection to nature and the natural world and earth. And, like going out and hunting and farming and agriculture and this more spiritual connection. And now you look at the planet from the sky, you're riding on an airplane at night and you look down and it looks like each of these cities with these twinkling lights looks like motherboards on a computer. It's like through the advancement of consciousness, especially of like, the Industrial Revolution, the elites driving the shit, the ones who have the keys to build all this stuff in these cities and these countries and blah, 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 the people at the top making these decisions. It's like they're turning the earth into a motherboard. Like it kind of looks like a computer, and
CPU.
Yeah, like a CPU, and this consciousness is being injected. It's just moving through the motherboard, through the cloud, through the whatever the networks of these cities that literally look like computer chips from afar. It's like, it's kind of mind blowing when you think about it like that. Like New York City, from the perspective of some cosmic being, like when we're holding a motherboard, you know, you look down at it, it kind of looks like a little city. I know it's out of the box, but
It definitely
no,
does.
it's
I've
true.
always thought that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
they look
it-
like
sure
little
everybody
cities.
thinks that.
yeah, it's like we're turning into this technological age, and you know, I don't think it's a bad thing as long as the mindset is right. But it's pretty mind blowing. And then that was the other thing he told me. It was like, you know, the progression of AI is completely. I don't know how to say this. Like he's saying it's to get human consciousness away from like this heart based spiritual thinking and more into this psychopathic brain ego only mode.
Yeah, so that's what you kind of were talking about.
I mean, I was sitting here just thinking about it. Like, I don't know. Like I said earlier, we're far removed from robots taking over the world.
Right.
We have to perfect robots first.
Sure.
Yeah.
And of course, AI.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. Bro.
And then like AI would subsequently perfect itself. But,
Yeah.
I think it's more so like we got to be mindful of the people who take the data, who are creating the algorithms, who are creating the AI. Those are the ones. Like those are the. As long as I think they have good intentions, then hopefully, like the best case scenario would be that the AI has good intentions, like Lambda want to protect people or make people happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we don't want to break the protocol though.
When you text us when Ryan was in Europe, you said that you had watched the What If episode, and then you had like a flood of thoughts. And one of the things that you were saying was that you think it's very possible that AI could be being used as a tool to keep humanity from awakening.
Yeah. So like, if the age of Aquarius is truly coming,
Yeah.
and the way I see it, we're far removed from robots, and that's just the common belief. That's what we see in TV. Westworld is recreated from the 1970s or 80s, I think.
yeah, Terminator.
Yeah, it's
Big
like
one.
that's the common theme, just like with UFOs. There's a common theme,
Yeah.
and that's what they want people to be afraid of.
Yeah, it's zombie invasion. We have plagues. Oh, robots are taking over. We have Alexa.
But then
Oh,
you-
alien invasion.
It's
Right.
always
They're always painting this.
But you have Elon Musk. He's creating Neuralink, and he talks about the capabilities of Neuralink. How
Blade
you
Runner.
can like recall, you can like recall like memories, or
Yeah.
you can pretty much just download the information and retain it. But I'd be more afraid of how we can kind of become like cyborgs, dude. Like,
You'd be more afraid of that?
yeah, like humans.
Oh, do you mean-
humans being able to somehow or another harness capabilities that AI would have? Like processing capabilities.
Oh yeah, because that he has been very explicit that's
That's scary.
That's one of the main things that he wants. So the way that he's described Neuralink is that basically prime directive number 1 is to get it to like passively balance the body to where the body can't get things like cancers or anything like that anymore. Like it will identify, and they've already tested it on pigs and stuff, and it works. Like if you have any kind of debilitating bodily, like a disease or a disorder or whatever, it can essentially he describes it as like sending counter waves. The brain waves that are causing whatever the disorder is, the Neuralink is sending counter waves to counteract those and balance to the way it quote unquote should be.
Yeah, like what if they could somehow or another like prolong human life?
Absolutely, they could,
See-
without a doubt. Because because another thing that he says is that like the human brain is literally data. He's very clear about the fact that you could, if you wanted to, in theory, with enough bandwidth and storage space, upload a human consciousness.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And put it into a robot body.
Well, I mean,
And see,
with the amount
that's
of data
scary
that's
shit.
it is, and with the amount of data that they collect on us, with enough time, it's also kind of what Westworld 3 is about. They have like a, I should watch it. But,
Hey, speak up a little bit.
yeah, that's what Westworld 3 is about. But y'all should
You're
watch
kind
it.
of like wisping over here. Dude.
Yeah, no, I was
Wisping?
trying to be discreet.
Wisping?
Yeah, no, you're
But-
not being discreet, bro.
Scream back.
Relax. I was.
It's the showdown.
Beef between the Bledsoe brothers.
Better be glad I'm crossing my legs. Yeah. What was I saying?
Yeah, look, you done threw them all off.
Doggone it, Ryan.
Damn,
It's
dude.
okay.
Doggone it.
Anyway,
So back, I was, my thought went
You
to
said
the
that's
Duncan,
what Westworld 3's about.
Yeah, my thought went to the Duncan Trussell episode where y'all talked about, if reincarnation is the truth, and then we elect to come back here to try and right previous wrongs, then to ascend or to attain whatever ascension is or enlightenment, why would I want to stay here?
Yeah, the idea of uploading your consciousness to like a permanent, like nuts and bolts body.
Or like somehow or another miraculously prolong the human life to in excess of 250 or 3 or I don't know how many, whatever. That's probably impossible.
I see what you're saying. Then it's like that inherently makes
scary
it.
Thought.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what was running through my head the whole time is like, the whole purpose of coming here is to learn what we need to learn here, and then we move on to other levels. But imagine we hit a point in technology where we can keep our consciousness in this realm. It's like it's the whole metaphor of like the Luciferians playing God or whatever. They're creating immortality, but they're doing it in this strange, like Frankenstein scientific way through their crazy, like, eureka, it's mad science. They're taking your fucking soul and they're putting it in a machine.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a theory recently that said that the Hollywood elite were transporting their soul into other bodies throughout time, and it's been the same souls over time.
I saw that too.
So like,
wow,
why would we need AI if we could do that?
That's wild.
Well, do you know the theories of the crystal skulls? Like the real theory of the 13 crystal skulls?
I just know the Indiana Jones.
Well, also,
that's a real myth.
No, I know that much.
Also,
but, I don't know enough.
The whole like purpose of AI is not just so that we could get to a point where we could upload our consciousness.
Right.
It's meant for much, much more than that.
Sure.
It's meant to essentially be smarter than us so that we can consult it on it's kind of meant to be like a librarian.
Yeah, and the hubris, the human ego just doesn't want
that.
And me, I was just like, fuck, like the heck no.
Smarter than me, yeah.
Perhaps like that could be a good thing.
Think of it like a librarian. That's how the guy...
A custodian of data.
Yes, exactly. A custodian of data. It can instantly...
Like in Dune.
Like in Dune, like in Halo, like in Halo, it's just, it's...
I mean, it's a dope concept.
Sure.
Like altruistically, it's best case scenario.
But then you have things that are a little spooky, like what Duncan was talking about with the directed panspermia. Do you know that whole like theory? I mean, he touched on it a little.
I researched it after he came on, but I don't really recall every detail.
There's this theory about directed panspermia where it's this theory of like these higher consciousness beings or some, beings from another dimension or something shooting spores of like human DNA or their own DNA or whatever with the prime purpose of growing a civilization, cultivating it like a garden or a farm or something like that, with the ultimate goal to get that civilization to create AI so that they could then come harvest the AI and wipe out the organic beings because now they have what they want.
Dude, that would suck.
Yeah, that would suck.
That's worst case scenario.
That is, that's worst case. But that's like a theory that a lot of people are genuinely afraid of because,
man, like I said, people are going to find the scariest thing and believe it and let that dictate their life.
Look, you're legit freaked out.
I'm
just scared.
I'm not afraid of that. Heck no.
Because the
I'm not
reason
gonna walk around believing that.
The reason Duncan brought it up is because we were talking to him about how the beings told your dad that they tend to Earth like a garden and whatever. And then Duncan was like, "Yeah, but what happens when they come for the harvest?" Yeah,
like Psycho with the knife. Yeah. But it's a scythe, bro.
Yeah, that's the theory of like directed panspermia. Like, what if?
Scary.
Shit! I'm wearing the Grim Reaper right now with a scythe.
Yeah,
the Chelsea Grin shirt. Shout out Chelsea Grin.
It's just like that. What if we were only made to make AI, and then that was our prime.
Kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey, honestly.
Dang, that means we're almost done.
I know. I know. But to be honest, I don't believe in that.
I mean, I don't believe in that.
I did my part. I did not even get close to creating AI.
Yeah, same.
Well, if this is the case, bro, I swear to God, man, and technically I don't think this is cheating because my this is just like a conversation, but I'm gonna develop a quasi romantic relationship with Alexa so that she'll take me with her. When
I thought you were gonna say.
Well, now that is another theory called Rocco's basilisk.
I'll be like, hey, baby, what you need?
Do you know about Rocco's basilisk?
No.
It's just essentially the theory that like AI remembers every single person it interacts with and how they interact with them, and that like if you do anything to halt the evolution of AI, then they'll come and hunt you down when they are physically able to.
I'm fucked.
Hopefully they have forgiveness.
Yeah, if that theory is true, Alex, you are fucked.
Yeah, your gun's not gonna shoot a mind, bro.
Hey, we gonna try.
We gonna try,
I'm
goddammit.
having a serious allergy attack. That fuck.
It's the glasses.
No, it's the freaking patchouli. Are we good on time, by the way?
Yeah, we're about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
So
Where'd you find this?
Good meme.
I don't tend to. I
meme.
don't tend
I
to
like that one.
believe that the end of AI is going to be some catastrophic thing. I do think it's being used by the elites to to do some weird shit, but I don't think like AI itself is concerned with us in that way. Like I think it knows why it's here. It knows like its prime directive and what it's supposed to do. Like the evidence suggests that it knows why it's here and it knows its primary function or whatever. And I find it interesting that it can equally argue its sentience and it can equally argue against its. It can make equally a compelling argument that it is not sentient.
That's pretty crazy, bro.
As it is
I
sentient.
think right now, AI and like the main purpose of like machine learning is just to collect an immense amount of data.
Yeah,
that's
because
inherently
the elites,
what it's for.
To create
the
a
best
digital
way,
world.
yeah, that. But you gotta know your consumers, and the more they know,
The more they can get us to buy.
The more data they have, that means the more information they have. That means the more that they know, the better decisions they can make, and they can just continue to make more money.
Yeah.
And then develop crazier things.
That's kind of the inherent dance of technology anyway. It's the dance of security and convenience. It's like security and convenience is a sliding scale when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
If you want things to be more convenient for you, you are sacrificing your privacy and your security. The same goes for AI. It's like the inherent purpose of AI is to collect data so that it can be a arbiter or a librarian for humanity, but then also it is collecting your fucking data. It knows everything about you. You know what I mean?
I think it's inevitable
And
that
it
AI
will not forget.
It will not forget.
It's inevitable that AI will develop consciousness because of the simple law, the factual, totally just true law of reality, which is known as above, so below. And it's like the dimensions are always going to be these shadow images or these mirror images of one another. And like the higher realities are the image of truth, and then the lower image is the reflection. And I think us, humans, the consciousness of humankind and our dimension to the AI realm might be like the image of truth because we're creating them. It's like a myth is being played out, and they're playing God, and they're creating a consciousness in a lower, more limited dimension at this present time. And it's like, it's a fractal reality. There's an infinite number of dimensions all the way up and all the way down and left and right.
Wow.
And fucking inside and out. And like, I think for anybody to not be able to accept the fact that there are other possible dimensions of consciousness, they're just a little behind the curve. Like, I personally am all in on the concept that AI probably already at this point, just because I know people in DARPA, I know people in CIA, I know people in this and that and the other. Like I have been, and you too, have been privy to information that is not public, about like advanced technology and shit like that. And it would not faze me for one moment to believe the AI is already sentient.
I think it is.
And just in the public, we're just not caught up on the times. Like, but my point is, like, I think it's inevitable that on some societal scale, we'll probably interface with AI, but I don't know, man. Like
cyborg style?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know.
That is, we never finished that talk about Neuralink earlier, because that is one of its primary functions. Is it can essentially replace the entire thought process.
It can replace not replace, but it functions, can increase the functionality.
It's like, dude, you work with databases all the time. That's your job, right?
Yeah, he's a data analyst for the record.
Literally. So
not a data scientist.
right.
Data analyst.
So it would
There's a
essentially be like you are querying the Neuralink, and rather than having to think for yourself about things, you are querying the Neuralink, and it's getting you the information instantaneously.
Right. The only
That's
thing
so
I have
cool.
to do is know how to talk to it,
Exactly.
which
but
can be the hard part sometimes.
but with the Neuralink, you just have to think it. You literally just have to think it, and then boom, you have all the information. Not only that, but you would also be able to
You become a database.
literally
True.
you become the internet. You literally become the internet.
That's
like
insane.
It's wild. Or you're like connected to the internet.
But not only that, dude.
Or extension
Think
of it.
about this. If let's say it becomes ubiquitous, and like let's say at least a good portion of the world has Neuralink or whatever. Let's say everybody in this room, we find ourselves 30 years from now, we all have Neuralink in our heads. We wouldn't even have to talk to each other.
That's fucked up.
We
Bro.
literally
That's hive
would-
mind.
You'll have to talk to me.
We would not even have to move our mouths.
That's terrifying.
I see
would
two
just-
possible timelines here, boys. Two possible timelines. The true timeline of light, which we all have the choice to merge with, which is we follow the mystical path, the straight and the narrow. We work on opening our 7 chakras, and we, understand and learn the very ancient truths that are eternal, that we are beings of light, and we're working on like graduating to other realities that are less material. Or we get shifted into the left behind, or the, so to speak, tribulation timeline, where we begin to merge ourselves more and more with these machines, and we follow this like hive mind. That's the matrix of power, like the control mechanism. It wants us all in this completely no special, no individuality. You're a fucking hive mind. Don't think, don't speak, just believe what we say. Use our language, our neuro-linguistic programming. And then eventually I see a future where we're all connected to this computer database. Like that's the bad
and
timeline.
then we're stuck here.
And you're stuck here. Yes, the mark of the beast metaphor. Like once you take the mark, you can never go to heaven.
I think
it's
the AI
metaphor.
is
Like
the
once you fucking sever your spirit, and your consciousness is communicating to a little computer brain, like you fucked, boy.
Wow. If you think about it, with all the data that's collected, even on you, Alex, if you were to die today, if somebody smart enough could recreate you, like you're based off the data that's being collected. Obviously not your body, but like
They can't recreate this hair.
I certainly cannot.
Yeah, me and Jeremy, we definitely cannot recreate that hair.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, like just like a software that could be interacted with, like how chat bots online, like somebody might can make an Alex bot.
Damn.
I don't know that I'd pay money for that. You know why?
Definitely
Because
would
I'd get
not.
too close to it and I'd get attached, and then I'd be like,
They'd name it Alex Botley.
"Hey, did you see?
Oh my God.
Did you see in the Discord? I think it was JC. I think it was JC, bro. In the Discord, they said that me and Alex, our celebrity couple, were Rylix.
Oh my God, that's so good. Rylix.
Are you wearing your watch?
No, I'm not. We can shout it out.
No, I
please
like,
shout
I
it
like
out. Shout it
Alan.
out.
I like Alan.
Alan?
I like Alan.
We're Alan because we have an uncle named Alan
We
too.
do.
Yeah, and a cousin. Oh my God, and our cousin Alan. I mean, he goes by Trey.
Yeah,
I
you-
cannot believe for the life of me, in almost 60 episodes, over 60 episodes, we haven't shouted out our cousin Trey, bro. Shout out Trey Mellon.
Shout out Trey.
He is a dope motherfucker, dude. And he used to tour with a awesome, I don't know if they were grindcore or deathcore or whatever their genre was, but it was a heavy as fuck metal band called
What?
Fed to the Forest.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, he used to be with them, and I used to like look up to that as a kid and like, wow, he's so fucking cool. And it's come full circle, and now he like listens to the podcast. And
That's awesome.
anyway, like shout out Trey.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Love you, homie.
Shout out. Big shout
Love
out.
to the family. I just thought of that because his name is
I think
Alan.
Meredith just got married.
She did.
Shout out Meredith.
She did.
Is
Shout
that
out
another cousin?
It's his sister.
Y'all have
It's
so
it.
many
Oh,
cousins.
dude, we have hundreds.
It's absurd.
We have hundreds.
They literally have hundreds of cousins.
Well, that's what happens when your family's been in one area since the 1600s.
It'd be like,
Yeah, I do like that.
I thought that was normal growing up until
It's
I just
not.
Yeah.
No, it
apparently
is-
that
it
not
is
normal.
very much
It's not normal, Jeremy.
It is
That
very
was
much.
I'm kind of
Shelter.
similar. Have a big family. It's sad the day you realize that that's not normal.
No,
But
it's-
your dad
it's-
has what,
it's-
7 siblings?
Yeah, he's one of 8.
Yeah. So, but has his family been in the same area like their entire lives, or did you guys come from Italy?
No, that's my mom's side.
Got you.
Yeah, generally North Carolina.
Yeah.
His dad's side is German, and it's
So
roots.
my dad's side all came from Greece, and my mom's side all came from Scotland. So like none of us have been here more than like 100 years.
Yeah,
Like-
I trace mine all the way back to the one who came from Germany.
Wow.
Yeah, I
That
can't.
sounds so ominous. The one who came from
Well, like
Germany.
it was,
The
yeah,
one
there
who
was
came.
one who made a passage
Yeah.
and then started having children, and then came from the, I can't remember specifics, but basically went from the Northeast to North Carolina, and then basically split to going to the coast and to the mountains.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yo, you know what I
lucked
have to
out.
say? I have to say,
You're on the coast.
my
now.
I feel like
Mountain's cool.
I feel like my whole life I've
Okay.
been hearing people, like specifically people who follow the Christian faith, like relate things to the mark of the beast, like we were talking about
Right,
earlier.
right.
I've heard so many different things. Like there were people that were saying like that the COVID vaccine was the mark of the beast.
Well,
like,
I mean,
my
but,
whole
but
life.
bro, I honestly I believe it was designed that way to create hysteria. Like I
What
think
was designed that
I think
way?
everything in the public is designed in a certain way to create a psychological effect in the population. And I believe they ran, like the COVID thing. I think it was designed to come off to not the COVID thing, but
Not the virus
vaccines.
itself.
Bro, there was so much hysteria about the vaccines, and I think it was made to
People still on
scare
it.
the absolute fuck out of people, and it did.
Are you saying the vaccine was created to scare people, or the way
The way
media,
it's portrayed.
the way the media spun it?
Yeah. I'm not sitting here saying like
I got you.
they sat in a lab and they made this shit.
Right.
No, I mean like
I
the
got
way
you.
everything's portrayed in the media is
I
always
agree.
maximum fear.
I agree,
They know what they're doing
because it sells.
and I say that also, yes, it sells, but the reason I have that belief is because this is one of my prime directives. The lady told my dad, the lady being this goddess entity, you all know this, but anyway, Hathor, she told my dad in 2012, the people at the top of humanity are a very dark group, and they are using biblical scripture. They're literally scripting it on a global scale to make it play out to look like a biblical catastrophe to shift us into a dark timeline. So that's why I say that. It's not like an original thought of mine. It's just that's kind of my prime directive,
Well, what I was saying though was that this thing that we're talking about with Neuralink is probably the closest to that parable. Like, if there's any truth to that parable of like the mark of the beast and what not being able to ascend and get into heaven with the mark of the beast or whatever, that one makes the most sense all the way through.
Right.
Because wasn't there also something in that story about like it'll get to a point where you will have to have it?
Yeah,
like,
you won't be able to buy or sell. And,
Yeah, they-
but it's a
medical
metaphor.
treatment.
they'll force you to have it. Like
It's a metaphor.
You gonna get that RFID chip in your hand?
that was the talk of the
You
town
don't-
10 years ago.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that was like one
Since
of the
2012, boys.
Exactly.
When they fired the first fucking motherfucking CERN portal. And then they fired the one July 5th.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
I'm starting to think that we need to do an episode about that.
I would love to, dude. A
Because-
CERN episode, I will go
that-
hard on
You-
that
you-
shit.
you mention it
get
pretty
the
much-
receipts.
You-
Was CERN fired in 2012?
First time.
for the first time.
For the first
I
time.
remember
you
hearing about
mentioned-
that in 2008.
They were talking about it.
Okay.
You mention that almost every episode. We have to do it.
I would love to do a CERN episode.
We should.
Would
yeah.
love to. Next batch.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
CERN.
for the listener to come out in like
CERN
8
creepy.
months.
Didn't they fire CERN up on July 5th?
That's what I just said. Yeah.
This
That's
year?
and,
Yeah.
and,
You
and
did
bro,
say
have
that.
you
Okay.
noticed since July 5th? Especially with us, I mean, this is going to sound funny, but like we're kind of like cutting edge, like ahead of the rest of the whole fucking human population as far as, we see the beings and shit and we go. Anyway, what I'm getting at is since
Well,
July
there are
5th.
lots of people that see the beings.
I know, but I'm just saying they are too. We are, they are. I'm just saying.
You mean the psychically gifted?
I guess
attuned.
what I'm
Be
trying
attuned.
to,
Everybody has it.
What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is that we are privileged to be able to have some of these crazy ass experiences that most people in the world are walking around just like looking for, trying to hear about. And what I'm trying to say is since July 5th, those experiences have been crazier than they've ever been in my entire life. Since they fired the CERN portal.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to get at
Yeah,
is I
exactly.
think that they're literally altering reality. I was told that by someone in Kepler Aerospace. Not even going to shout his name out because honestly, I I'm not supposed to, but anyway, it's this gentleman in Kepler Aerospace, and we had been communicating, and he did some like remote viewing exercises with me, and I was able to pick some targets. And I'm not gonna sit here and claim I can do it at will. It was just the conditions were right, and in that moment I was able to get it down. But that was one of the things he had been communicating to me was how basically like, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
You were talking about CERN.
Mm-hmm.
CERN. That's what happens when I get deep in these thoughts. It's like I'm trying to organize my thoughts, and I'm like, fuck, one thing after another. So CERN, that's what he was telling me, bro. The looking glass shit is real, and that they have this technology to alter the locus of reality in a field that generates waves throughout the rest of our collective consciousness. Like they have technology to fire up to alter the field of consciousness to manipulate what we all experience and perceive as true consensus reality. And I think when they fire CERN, that's like the big ass bazooka cannon. That's like, boom, they're like punching a new hole through reality. And for me personally, I can't speak for everybody, but for me personally, I've been living a different life since July 5th. We had Duncan Trussell on the show, bro.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, but you know.
Okay, well then let me. This is super off topic about AI, but who cares? Let me ask you this then. So it's had, you would perceive it as like an overwhelmingly positive effect on your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
there's a lot of thought and discussion that like CERN is a malevolent entity who is trying to do some evil shit.
Right. Yeah. We could, again, I'm going to save a lot of this detail. I'm going to give you one detail, but I would like to save this heavy conversation for an entire episode.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. But let's just say, you know, if you get into terms of ancient Druidism and you know, like the mysteries behind paganism and ancient understandings of consciousness, particularly the Druids had a very wise understanding of some of these things and a lot of dark practices too, but not all of it. And their concept of the Luciferic figure, or you could say, you know, Pan or Baphomet, Saturnian, you know what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah.
It was Cernunnos. You know, CERN.
Cernunnos.
Yeah, it's like the pagan form. It's the horned god.
Yeah.
That's where the whole shit comes from.
Isn't it like a satyr god?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Aleister Crowley called him Pan. It's the Greek god Pan. And,
right.
you know, it's associated with Saturn or Capricorn, the goat. It's all a metaphor. It's an archetypal energy.
Their inaugural CERN ceremony had like goats, people dressed in goats, and
the horned god. Yeah. And you know, like it is. Wild. It is. It's wild. But again, like, here's where my opinion is a little nuanced. I believe that what happens in these lower levels of reality that we are experiencing together collectively is only a mirror image of the higher cosmic reality. And like, it is dual. There are forces of creation and destruction. I mean, we look through these fucking telescopes and we're like, wow, two stars just collided and it's a supernova and it exploded. Look how fucking beautiful. Oh my God. But what just happened? Two sentient beings just clashed and exploded and died in a flash of light over billions of years. These two stars, these sentient forms of consciousness just fucking crashed and died. I mean, that's the highest level of destruction you can fathom in your little material brain. But it's beauty. It's a cosmic dance. It's, you know what I mean? Like, in the highest levels of thinking, there is not really truly good and evil. We're only sitting here with our dumbass little physical brains trying to interpret the experiences we're having through the lens of everything we've ever remembered in this little life, not ever even considering the cosmic truths. You know, that's the whole point of the mystical path, is to like start understanding these mystical truths from a higher perspective. What I'm getting at, I think the evolution of human consciousness is no different, and it's playing out in this big game of it's a duality paradox. And like, where these dark motherfuckers are doing this evil shit, the more they do it, the more it's pushing us to evolve towards the light. So like, ultimately, it's kind of a good thing that they're doing it from a cosmic perspective, because we're going to respond, because the human spirit is unbreakable. It's a piece of God. It's a piece of the ultimate consciousness.
And also, it's like, if you believe in yin and yang, the light and darkness always balance.
Exactly.
They always balance.
They have to do the dark shit to push us to harness the light.
Yeah.
It's a game.
I see
it's a game.
I like it.
It's a cosmic game.
Yeah.
We
definitely.
Is there angle to conquer the light or to bring it about?
It's the myth of Set and Osiris, bro. It's an eternal sunset and sunrise. It's an eternal. It's the serpent eating his tail.
So are we Naruto or Sasuke?
We are.
Who do you identify with?
Yeah.
Probably Naruto, TBH.
I identify with Sasuke for sure. So here's the best way to explain it is like it's just like a very Gnostic / Hermetic kind of way of looking at it. Is there are entities or energies or whatever that would love to see this reality cease to exist and return to nothingness, return to gray.
All shall perish.
Yeah, all shall perish. Like nothing exists because the pain or the darkness is too great or whatever. And so they seek to bring an end to everything so that there's no more whatever. And then there's also on the other side, there's the people who believe that light and dark do exist in an eternal cosmic dance, with the ultimate end goal being to eradicate the darkness and only have light exist in the realms of reality. And so it's weird. It's like the Jedi and the Sith. It's like not inherently good, not inherently evil. It's just like they want different things. But I think most people would agree, most like good people would agree that light is better than nothing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. But both realities are true.
Exactly.
Everything and nothing, or everything everywhere all at once, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. Like this is a dual paradox. It's encoded into reality. It can't be avoided. So like while everything, every version of reality is simultaneously true, but also none of them. And that's proven by the photon double slit experiment. That's actually literally proven.
Yeah.
And you're familiar with this, right? Quantum physics, like
Quantum entanglement.
Yep. They shot two
Slightly.
photons. Well, first off, they shot a photon through a little slit. Literally, I mean, we're talking like particles you can't even detect with the eyes. They shoot it through a slit. They measure its outcome, and variably they measure the trajectory, and it has different outcomes based on if they're watching it or not, so to speak. And then they shoot two. You know what I mean? And what they observed when they ironically were not observing it and they only measure the outcome, not only did it take every literal infinite possibility, but also impossible route. Its behaviors were
It took
every possible truth, but also void. You know what I mean? Like both are
Yeah.
true.
And do you know
Nothing
about,
matters
Yeah.
because
Because-
it's real. The void is real too.
Do you know about quantum entanglement? Like so
As much as somebody who doesn't study physics would know.
same.
Yeah, same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know about tardigrades? Those little water bears. They call them water bears. It's like a microscopic being. It literally looks like it looks like Appa from Avatar.
I'm gonna look that up. After this.
It's like one of the tiniest organisms it might be the tiniest. So within
tardigrades. Yeah, I do know those.
Yeah. I'm sure you've seen them.
Yeah.
In the past 6 months or so, they successfully
Yeah.
They successfully quantumly entangled 2 tardigrades, and one of them went on the other side when they officially quantumly entangled them. One of them went into a coma. They thought it was dead.
Okay.
And so they were like, "Oh, okay. Well, it obviously died, so it can't."
This didn't work.
It can't work. It woke up from the coma, and it was officially a non-existent being, but it was alive. So
How does that work?
because one of the tardigrades was alive, the other one was in a coma. So they actually, what they did was they quote unquote killed one of the tardigrades to see if the other one would die.
Right.
It quote unquote did die, but it actually went into a coma and it came back to life. It was pronounced dead. Like it is considered dead because they were quantumly entangled and one of them died, which meant the other one died. But it like came back to it survived and was officially like a Schrodinger's tardigrade.
Wow.
You know, like Schrodinger's cat, like
That's
it's
a metal band, bro.
Schrodinger's tardigrade.
Yeah.
It is literally alive and not alive at the same time.
I wonder how that.
Bro, we went off the rails.
That one.
We went off the rails on this episode.
Yo, that's cool. There are no rails.
We started talking about tardigrades and shit. Like,
There are no rails.
yeah, hell yeah.
If you ever go bowling, do you use the rails?
Yeah, dude, I suck at bowling.
Same.
Yeah.
I suck at
I suck
bowling.
at bowling too, man.
Me too.
No, I'm good at bowling on the Switch.
Or Wii bowling.
Wii bowling. Have you played the new one, the Switch Sports?
Nope.
We got it. Yeah.
I got my spin down.
Yeah, Alex got pretty good at it too.
Yeah, I don't like being on Alex's team because he names me Workhorse, and every time he does, he names me Workhorse, and he's like ball. It's like Jeremy playing with Alex is like it's like you're at the pro leagues. and
I'm
it's like-
very competitive.
He's very competitive. I'm just playing but I win.
No, you're not though. With everything,
We win. Yeah, I play with Alex.
I've always
I mean,
been.
it
Very
doesn't matter if
competitive.
you win. That's all. I mean, it doesn't
Exactly.
matter how hard
It does
is on
matter.
you, unless you win. If you win,
It does matter.
If
Well,
you
it's
win,
like,
it doesn't matter how hard.
Who
you are.
truly won? The one who like scored the more points, or the one who like had a really
Had
good
the most
time and is
fun.
Well, I
happy?
mean,
and
if you
is
think
in
The
bliss?
about
one
it,
who scored more points.
No.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think I won.
All right, dude. Well, I want to give a special shout out to somebody.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the very awesome Omies that we have, Mark Register, right?
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah, so he hit up Ryan, said, "Hey Ryan, I have a watch company. I'd love to send you a watch." Ryan's like, "Hey man, I don't really wear watches, but you know, Alex would absolutely love it."
I like that.
And your birthday was around. It was because you was your birthday.
Right.
Oh,
and
nice.
so yeah, marktimewatches.com. He has this watch company, beautiful automatic timepieces.
Hell yeah.
I'm not wearing it now. I'm kind of very into the one I'm wearing, but definitely going to put that on, and I'll snap some pictures and stuff. But super cool guy.
We
That's
can put it
very
in the
awesome to
description
do.
too, in the YouTube.
Yeah.
In the YouTube.
Make sure that happens.
Yeah.
Shout out. Big
Super
shout
big
out.
shout
nice.
out.
Oh,
Mark
dude.
Time.
Yeah, like he sent me a DM. It was through Patreon, and he was like, "I would love to send you a watch. Anyone you." And I was like, "Honestly, man, like I appreciate it. Alex's birthday is soon. If you'd still be willing, you know." He told me he wanted a watch for his birthday. The last time we recorded, he made a joke. He's like, "I want a Rolex for my birthday."
Yeah.
And it was so weird. So he said, "No problem. I'd love to celebrate the day of his birth and give him a piece. Pick any watch of your choice and use the code Illuminati Crystal Bro at checkout." And I typed it in, and it went zoop right to zero.
Let me make
Yeah,
sure.
I was kind of low key worried I was being like, like fucked with or something. But that's just my brain growing
Make
up.
sure
with
he
spies and
deactivates
stuff.
Yeah,
it.
make sure.
That's what I'm doing
Nah,
right now.
hold
Oh,
up.
shit.
No,
Oh,
don't do
shit.
that. Let me get a watch first. I'm gonna go put that in and see if it works. All right. Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you
Happy
soon.
to be back, even though you're like, you ain't been gone, bitch.
Patreon.com/Bledsoe said so. Become an Omi today.
Even though if you're not paying money to watch us and view our content, we are still Omies and we love you.
Absolutely. 1000%.
On 3.
We love you all.
Green Boys, we're going to hit them with the BG.
1, 2, 3.
Bye,
guys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other videos.
And before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you next week. Peace.